Hello, 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 hello. My name is Rhoda Aglago. Thanks for coming or listening. Okay, so today's session, or not session, today's topic is one that I hold very near to my heart, and I think it's important that my brothers and sisters know this, understand this, and are able to recognize it. What I will talk about today is this. The dichotomy between fear and love. Illusion and awakening. That's what I'm going to talk about today. So that we can learn and understand what it is, or each is, and be able to navigate life and make the right choices. Because honestly, no matter what it is that you're dealing with, no matter who you are and how things are coming at you, it boils down to this. Seriously, it boils down to this. 2 choices. Okay? You choose to live in fear, or you choose to live in freedom. In fear and the darkness, or you choose to live in freedom and love. Freedom and love. Freedom and love. Those are what you're going to be understanding, that the 2 choices that you need to make will give you what you're working with, and the life that you've chosen, and the reality that you've chosen, whether you've chosen an illusion or an awakening. It's up to you. Now, I recognize this might seem strange to some people, and if that's the case, understand this. I'm doing this because I want that clarity, that understanding, the confusion to be cleared out, so that you can begin to live the life that you want. Live your best life. And to live your best life, you have to know how to make the right choice that would help you become the person that you want to be. I don't know about you, but that's very important to me. To be authentic, to be altruistic with most of the stuff that I do, almost in everything. I think if I can't be real, then there's no point. What else is there? What else is there? There's nothing else. Once again, my name is Rhoda Aglago. Thank you for joining me on Love, Forgive, Live podcast. With this podcast, what I aim to do is to empower, encourage, and of course, motivate my brothers and sisters. And sometimes I do inspire. But most of all, I want to encourage and allow the truth to reign through, so that my brothers and sisters can begin to understand who they truly are and what they're doing here on planet Earth, and how we are connected to the universe, how we are connected to the Creator. That's very important. Understand this: truth cannot be hidden. It cannot be hidden in the dreams, cannot be hidden in the darkness, it cannot be hidden in the illusion or the fears. The illusion that people follow or believe in creates a strange separation that make them believe that fear is more important and more powerful than love, than the universe, than the creator. And honestly, that blows my mind. It really does. While love is perceived in the illusion as being treacherous, and it punishes and hurts those who do not obey its will or its way. And then they cultivate this idea that fear and hate are always together, because they are. And they operate under the same understanding or principles. But people become committed. That's the strange. People tend to become highly committed to this idea of fear to be love. But then love is to hate, which is strange. As a result, they begin to believe that love is fearful and hate is love. And believe me, I could count so many people that I've encountered in this lifetime that believe this. And I listen to them, and in my mind, I'm like, oh, I wish my brothers and sisters knew this. But sometimes when people are believing this idea or this thought, it's very difficult to try and convince them otherwise. So what I usually do is I just listen and accept where they are at the time or at the moment, and recognize that there's no time to be judging this or their stance or their belief system. Rather, it's important to recognize that they are having a nightmare, to recognize that they are stuck in an illusion. They are stuck in this fear-based belief system that make them keep reliving this loop they keep going through over and over and over and over. And so I recognize that, and I don't judge it, but rather I make up my mind that I will extend love towards them and to them, even though they may not know it, they may not understand it, or even hear it. You don't necessarily need to say it. You may say it in your heart for them. But that's all it is. No judgment. Because it's a process, it's a growth process that we all have to go through. And we've all been there to come to this place of realization. And this is what happens when people begin to believe that there's a separation between the universe and the creator and humanity. This separation then gets to be completely wrapped up in how people relate to one another. This is where it really boils down to. We relate to one another, and thus we walk around and say, oh, that person is this, that person doesn't match up, this person is not important, and this person doesn't matter to me, and this person doesn't measure up to me. And guess what? This person is not in my class, and this person is not worth my time, and this person. It's amazing when you take the time to understand all this stuff coming out, and you kind of recognize it that, wow, it must be exhausting to be going around and wanting to put people against each other. And recognize that when we walk around and say, oh, well, they're not one of us. They're not like us. They don't matter. We as a humanity, are creating separation all the time. And as such, people start looking and treat each other poorly, as though they value the next person because the person doesn't look like them, because the person doesn't speak like them, because the person may not dress like them, because the person may not eat what they eat, because the person may not dance the way you dance. It's a tough thing to see and know that this is happening in our world. When this becomes the basis of dealing with one another, honestly, we will recognize that we are completely lost. We are lost in our quest to grow together, learn from one another, and begin to share the lessons that we've learned from one another and make it accessible. This is the other thing. Make it accessible to everyone. Because it's not about running a race where one gets ahead more than the other, but it's about running the race of humanity, the race of the human race, and continuing together, and we all win together. That is the goal. We all must win together. Because as we fail together. There's no such thing, oh, I'm better off because I know what is going on. No. If you know what is going on, begin to share with your brothers and sisters. Don't hoard it. Don't hide it. Don't create a space for yourself and say, let me just keep to myself, and choose a select people to share this with because I want them to do better. Then you would have joined the same illusion group. So it's important to understand the acceptance and then create peace. Because once you allow peace to reign in your life, people begin to notice and recognize that chaos is never worth it. Because when they see the peace reigning in you, the peace resonating in your life, people begin to gravitate that and say, I want that. That's how we share. I want that. How did you become so calm? How did you get to be so resilient? How did you get to become so rested assured that things will be okay and everything will fall into place? That rested assurance is trusting in the universe, trusting in the creators, trusting in the process that it is okay. It really is okay. And things will get better. Even though we can't see it and we don't know how it's going to turn around. But the mere fact that you stand in presence and not worrying about past and the future, presence is where you begin to notice that all these separate notions we brought does not matter. Because in the present moment, it's all that matters. The other choice is the awakening. The awakening I call sometimes the miracle. The awakening of the human consciousness to recognize that the separation of our thoughts and what we created out of fear and the nightmare we thought we were having is really not real. It's an illusion. Now that's where the beauty of awakening comes. The main thing that humanity needs to focus on, honestly, is the awakening. Instead of wasting time on all this other stuff, the awakening is the most important thing. The awakening is recognizing that there are two juxtaposition of fear-based understanding or love-based understanding. Once you recognize the difference, there's your awakening. Because you're able to see clearly which one is operating in your life. And when you see it and begin to make the choice to believe in truth, love, truth, peace, truth, acceptance, truth, grace. That is your awakening. And knowing that there's no separation, excuse me, there is no separation, that we are one with the divine. We are one with the universe. And our oneness is that fear has no place or basis in love. Rather, love is the universe. Love is all. And love has no use for hate, doubt, separation, excuse me, or anger or rage. How would you, excuse me, jeez, this frog in my throat. How would you be able to recognize which stance you've taken? So I'm going to break this down. Hopefully this makes sense. This is the best that I can do. And if it's not enough, I'm sorry. Illusion believes love is fearful. Hate is love. And chaos is the way. Discourse is the way. So let me break them down. Number one is fear. Love is fearful. Hate, number two, is love. Chaos and discourse is the way, number three. Number four, fear of darkness and believing that darkness has power over anything you do. And as though darkness has a way of winning in your life and having a hold on your life and making its presence known in your life always. Number five, that separation from one another is how to live, where the constant pointing hands and saying, we are different. I won't do that. I am better. I will never do that. The next one, number 6, is this: judgment. Judgment of one another. And judgment really is a way of one forgetting about themselves and their own lack or their own shortcomings, and then focusing on another person's shortcoming and making that a reason to be cruel, a reason to be mean, a reason to put someone down, a reason to discredit someone, and a reason to hurt another person. Judgment has a way of creeping in for a short while, where people begin to have this level of superiority, because that superior thought process is based in illusion, the nightmare, which is not real, untrue. Number 7, is actually something that makes me wonder sometimes. Number 7 is illusion. Idea of love is that it demands a sacrifice. It demands something in exchange for that love. And the strange thing is, the exchange you make, it is never enough. This is what blows my mind. The exchange you make is never enough. It's never accepted. It's always constantly demanding and demanding and demanding and demanding. And it blows my mind, how is anybody able to live? I'll give you an example of this one. Illusion-based ideas of love is always about a condition. Demanding a sacrifice and putting a condition in place. And with that condition, in the beginning, you may think you can attain the condition or you can work with it. But as you start working with it, you realize it becomes all-consuming. And you can never, ever do enough. You can ever earn it. You can never, ever have it because you're working hard on earning, and that earning is never satisfied. I'll give you another example. If someone does something to you, instead of coming to terms with it and forgiving, you begin to sit around and say, well, if they do A, B, C, D, then I'll forgive them. Now, my question is that forgiveness? Is forgiveness, that forgiveness comes with a task for the person who did offense or who hurt or harmed you to do A, B, C, D just to earn your forgiveness. And when you forgive, does that take the hurt and the angst away that you felt that you deserve this person to do these things to show you that they are ready for the forgiveness and that you give the forgiveness? This is how illusion world works. And then turn forgiveness into something that needs to be given to the offender and the person who was hurt. The superior being the judge and jury that makes the decision as to how to forgive. Very funny and powerful, isn't it? And this is what we live with. I've heard this before. Another example is this. You owe me. You owe me after what you've done to me. You owe me A, B, C, and D. Illusion thought processing of demanding a sacrifice. As though it's making a charitable donation based on the merit of how much the offender deserved and how much they gave in exchange for that. Another one I hear is this. After everything you've done, you ought to be on your knees, your hands and knees, begging for forgiveness. And I hear that, I'm like, whoa, where did that come from? Woohoo! That's a tough one. This is what illusion creates, the nightmare it creates. And people live in this, believing they're actually awake. And then this is the other thing. In illusion thought processing, this is what number 8 is going to be. That if they create something that deserves attention, it must be given. And if it's not given, then that means it's not worthy. And people will walk around feeling they're not worthy because they did not measure up to society's ideals of how they should be. So they begin to measure themselves to what society says they should be like, they should act like, they should speak like, and they should believe in. This is illusions. Fear-based. Now, who could live with like this? And and it's so dissatisfying, always wanting and wanting and wanting and never being satisfied and being hungry, completely hungry for acceptance. My brothers and sisters, let me go to the second part, the awakening or truth. Truth. Number 1, love is all. Love is unconditional. No conditions at all. Number 2, love is peace. Number 3, peace beyond understanding. Peace beyond understanding that brings a sense of calm. But if you are asked, where did this peace come from? You just don't know, but you just have this level of peace and calm and understanding that it is well. It is well. Number 4, is that light make darkness disappear instantly. Darkness has no basis. Darkness cannot stay in the presence of light. The moment light makes a presence, darkness disappears immediately. And in that light, there's calm, there's clarity, hope. Number 5 of truth or the awakening is we are one with all, and we are all brothers and sisters. There is no separation between us. We are all part of one tapestry of the human race with one purpose: to serve the universe, to bring to the universe the gifts that we brought here. Together, we work in unison to create this beautiful tapestry, because every little piece of gifting that we brought connects together. That's the thing. So nobody's own is any less important than the other. We are all one. And we are brothers and sisters. Number 7 is acceptance. It's acceptance of who you are as you are created. Acceptance of your stance. Acceptance that it is well. Acceptance that you matter and you're important and you are loved. Acceptance that you came here with a purpose. And who you are, you already know. And you have it inside of you already. So it's about working on yourself and asking the questions that you need to ask to access the gifting and the stuff you already have in you that you thought was outside of you. Acceptance is accepting who you are as you are related to the universe. How does that factor into your daily life? How does that factor into what you do? Acceptance. Acceptance comes with the surrender. Acceptance comes with, it is what it is. And it is well with me too. And I will do my part. Acceptance is powerful. Number 8 is that we are equal. We are equal because we are from the human race. There's no difference between me and my brother. There's no difference between me and my sister. There's no difference from the person who is a homeless man or woman to me. Because they might be working on a different nightmare at the time, but that doesn't make them any less better than me or any less human than me. Recognize that. And of course, with truth, the last one is number 9. Just be, because you are enough. Just be, there's no demand on you. Just be moved by the love that is already in you and is free. There is no sacrifice. There is no demand of anything you have to earn. You already are loved. You don't have to do anything. You don't have to make a special request. You don't have to. It is. And as you do understand this, turn it on yourself and love you. There is no sacrifice. Oh, another one I forgot. There is no judgment in truth. None at all. Judgment does not exist. So love yourself. Take the judgment away. Give yourself the permission to love you. And as you do, the strangest thing is you begin to love your brothers and sisters. So as you love yourself, accept yourself, begin to have the love, the peace, the calm, the peace with no understanding and the calm with no understanding at all. If anybody asks you, how? You just say, I don't know. But you would begin to have the peace beyond human understanding. You can't even explain it. There are no words. And even if you do, you will never be able to surmount to the exact way you feel. That's the beauty. So there you have it. Illusion versus truth. How does that look like? And when you are choosing and making decisions and decide to choose illusion, you know how it looks like. And now that you do, you're able to recognize it and decide, no, I choose truth. That's how you begin to dispel negative thought process. Because the negative thought process It's what will drag you and put you in fear, drag you and put you in illusion. And I'll speak of this. The acronym for fear is this: F as in father, E A R. F stands for fear. It stands for false. E stands for evidence. The A stands for appear. And R stands for real. So that's the acronym for fear. False, evidence, appear, real. That's what happens in illusion. False evidence appear real. What fear you're going through, what illusion you're going through is not real. It's the false evidence appear real so that you become a hostage to that fear, to the constant negative processing. When that starts happening, the fears, the anxiety, the constant panic, the constant, heart racing and wanting, and then it comes from false evidence appear real, which is an illusion. It's not true. It is not true. So begin to choose truth, where you can recognize when a fear is coming, you can notice it and call it for what it is and say, wow, this is false evidence appear real, trying to make me believe it so I become a puddle. But I choose truth, the confidence, the love, the fact that fear does not exist. I hope today's discussion was helpful. I know that it was helpful for me when I was younger. And yes, and I did. I remember I for a long time I thought I forgot that I had that issue. I did have anxiety problems. And at the time, when it creeped up, I thought it was for real. And I know how that is. But once I've learned to manage it and recognize that, it has nothing to do, it really has no power over me, it became my salvation. It became my saving grace. And I soared. So please, take this. You can do more reading on this and learn how you can use this to jumpstart your own healing, your own understanding, your own truth, seeking truth to free you, because truth is freedom too. That's the other thing. Truth is freedom. With illusion, hostage. Truth is freedom, illusion is a hostage. So choose. Do you want to be a hostage or do you want to be free? It's up to you. The choice is yours. Make the one that you feel you can live with. But if you're living with illusion and it's becoming difficult, then you know what to do. Recognize it. I hear people say, but here's the thing. Fear's purpose, or the role of fear in your life, it creates a false sense of existence, a false sense of reality, and make you believe that it's going to keep you safe. Meanwhile, it's not. Rather, it's robbing you of your joy. It's robbing you of your peace. It's robbing you of your freedom. That's the truth. That's the role of fear. That's the role of illusion in your life. I thank you for listening. And next week I'll be back with another topic. I hope, like I said, this was helpful, and I hope this gave my audience clarity of recognizing which decision or which choice they've made and how they can undo it. Because to undo it is to choose truth. And once you choose truth, it becomes clear. And you start noticing that you become calmer and more peaceful and more understanding of acceptance. And there's nothing better than that. I believe when I made the choice to look at what it is I was really struggling with, and that I was struggling with illusion, it freed me. It freed me to seek truth and allow that to be what takes me through a higher self sense of thinking, acceptance, and understanding. Because when you think that highly of yourself, of how you matter, and don't negate yourself from life, but actually just enjoy it and live it up, oh my goodness, nothing better. Those of you who listen on YouTube, you may subscribe. Please subscribe, and of course, like and follow us. Those listening on Spotify, like and follow us. We do share, information there too. This will be uploaded there. And of course, we do check who's, we see how many audience are there listening in, and if there's something that we need to work on, we can work on it. Spreaker.com is also great. We are on there, and of course on Amazon and on iRadio. On Tuesday, I will be having a live stream on Facebook. Last time I did it, I think that was January 5th. I did it for, almost an hour. I try to keep it less than an hour, but it depends on what I'm talking about and how much it flows. So if it flows more, then I'll talk about, whatever I'll be talking about longer. If it doesn't flow and it is what it is, I just allow things to unfold as they are. I don't write a script. I don't write, this is what I'm going to do, this is what I'm going to do. No, it just flows automatically through me because we're all vessels. And as a vessel, you allow the divine to flow through you. You allow the message and the talk and the lesson to flow through you. And as you make yourself available to that, it's powerful. So that's how I operate. I don't go around saying, okay, I'm going to do them. No, none of that. Just allow things to happen organically and authentically. So that's what I do, and I enjoy it. I think I'm liking this way of flow with my work. Those who want to write to me and ask questions or say anything, comment, my email address is love, LUV, the number 4, give, GIVE, live, LIVE, @gmail.com. Once again, it's love, 4, number 4, give, live, @gmail.com. Thank you for joining me. I will talk to you guys next week. My name is Sroda Aglago. Thank you again for joining me on Love, Forgive, Live podcast. Take care. Have an amazing week. And be safe out there. Love y'all.